The 7 and 7 series, I just came up with that after I looked back on the period of time that I had spent working on these 24 paintings, that I had more or less been a gauntlet laid down so long ago. But I realized that 7 years had gone by and I had finally finished the 24th painting. And basically it was just reaching a milestone for me and feeling good about all of the work that came out of that experience. The first series was Beyond the Garden, and I completed that in 2000 and 2001. It was 5 paintings. When I look at those paintings now, they have a tendency to take me back to those memories that had a lot of emotional weight at the time. So in a way, it's nice to be able to close a chapter on a period of your life, my life, with a series. The next series I worked on was Natural Elements. And in Natural Elements, again, it was 5 paintings. I worked on some larger pieces in that series, the largest being 48 by 60 inches. 48 by 54 inches, mother of pearl 3. And that sort of led the way for the next series, which was Oceanology. I had taken a trip over to the West Coast and had spent a lot of time looking at the marine life on the California coastline, and was inspired by starfish and mussels that I saw in seagrass. So Oceanology happened, and after Oceanology, I believe Metamorphosis came. And that was really a pivotal time for me in my life, where I felt like I was really finding my voice creatively. And I've always been interested in the subject of butterflies and the subject of metamorphosis and how that change of existence can happen in so many things. The next series after Metamorphosis was, I believe, Still Life 1. During the course of Still Life 1, I had an accident where I had broken my hand and wrist and had to have some surgery. And I was in the middle of getting ready to paint Orchard Fruit, which is the first painting in the Still Life 1 series. I wrapped up that painting just before surgery. And then after, I believe it was 4 to 6 months worth of recovery time after the surgery, I was ready to paint again, so I worked on Citrus. And then it was necessary for me to have an additional surgery, so I hurried up and I finished Citrus just prior to having that surgery, the second surgery. And then I had to wait another 4 months for recovery before I could finish up the series with Mixed Berries. And that's what happened with that series. And Still Life 1 was an excellent name for that series, just because each time I felt like I was still alive and still moving forward with my art. So the next series that I worked on was the Tendrils series. And at the time of Tendrils, I had been out of the studio for 2 years and was very anxious to get back to work. Been doing some traveling. And during those travels, I'd been given some contemplation to the subject of the backstory on certain subjects. In this case, these particular flowers that became the subject of the Tendril series. And so when one sees these paintings, they, for the most part, just simply see a flower, but a story of that particular flower and what that flower imparts to me. So the 3 paintings were the Passion Flower, the Morning Glory, and then a red trumpet vine. I had expressed the subject of the Zen through those 3 paintings probably better than I had seen it before in my other work. It was very obvious to me that that was something that was behind my work. After Tendrils, I jumped straight into sea shellscapes, and that had been based on a pastel drawing that I had done while traveling, and came upon the concept of a miniature seascape within the reflection of a seashell on the beach. So we're dealing with quantum subjects with this particular series, the extremely small and the extremely vast, both in the same field of view. Again, each line absolutely essential to the next line, each portion or aspect of each painting absolutely relevant and important to the greater telling of the story and the way the painting works when it's viewed. The movement in the painting that's achieved while viewing it from so many different angles. Each line is pushing and pulling the next line, and with this particular series I think it really comes through. So that's the story of the 7 and 7, the 7 series in 7 years, and I wrapped up Shellscape towards the end of 2007, and it just seemed like a fitting time to say enough for the time being.